Hello, my name is Mr. McDonough and I'm going to take you through the Year 9 Options information session for parents and carers. This session was first presented in school on Monday the 5th of February 2024. The session is going to cover a number of points: what Key Stage 4 at St Anthony's looks like, the importance of options, what our core subjects are and qualification types are, the two option routes that are available, some do's and don'ts when choosing options, and how we move forward. If you were at the evening, there would have been an opportunity for questions. If you couldn't attend and have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact your daughter's head of house in the first instance. Here at St Anthony's, we aim to provide all students with the opportunity to reach their potential and prepare them for post-16 education, employment and training. The options process is a key part of that, giving them the opportunity and to fulfill their potential. Students at St Anthony's all study a set of core subjects. More about those in a moment. They then get to pick from either GCSE or vocational optional subjects. And again, more about those in a moment. So why do options matter? Well, options are to ensure that students are equipped with the qualifications they need to move on and be successful. Employers, trainers, educationalists all require certificates of education to access their courses, employment or training. Their options will open doors to them in the future in higher education and employment opportunities. They will ensure that we build a range of transferable skills by studying a variety of subjects. These are skills that are transferable throughout life. So I'd talk more about the core subjects, and here they are. A lot of them you would hear exactly as you expect: GCSE Mathematics, GCSE English Language and English Literature. As a Catholic school, we put high emphasis on GCSE Religion, and every student studies GCSE RE. Students will then study combined or separate science. The decision about this will be taken at the end of year 10. We then ask that all students do a humanity, so all students must pick either history or geography as a core subject. It is possible to do both, and I'll talk more about that later. And then there is PHSE and Core PE, two courses that do not examine. GCSE courses are graded 9 to 1, 4 being the standard pass, 5 being a good pass. Assessment is usually terminal examinations at the end of year 11, although some courses do have a coursework component which are usually completed under controlled conditions. For example, food and nutrition, you have to complete what we call NEAs under exam conditions in a food room in school. GCSEs require large bulks of knowledge to be recalled and understood. Vocational courses are graded using the vocational system: distinction star, distinction, merit pass. There is an equivalence with GCSE in that a level 2 is equivalent to a GCSE grades 9 to 4, where a 4 is the pass grade and the 9 is the distinction star. Level 1 vocational courses are graded on GCSE grades 3 to 1. The assessment from this is usually a combination of portfolio work and terminal examinations, so effectively continuous coursework and some small examinations, which students are allowed to resit once, the best mark counting. The courses are often work-related and are valued equally by further education institutions and colleges, just the same as GCSEs. The content is usually almost identical, it's just the way that it is assessed that is different. Year 9 students have two routes they can follow. They have what we call an EBAC route and a humanities route. Both of them lead forward to students who want to do A-levels, further education, apprenticeships or employment. First of all, we're going to look at route 1, the EBAC route. The government introduced the E-Bac from the desire to ensure that we have a balanced and rigorous curriculum. The aim is to produce well-rounded students with broad skills in all curriculum areas. Route 1 is the E-Bac route. All students will do English language and literature, mathematics, RE, science, core PE and PHSE, and along that they'll do 3 other subjects which they pick from the 3 blocks. Block A is the humanities block. They must choose between geography and history. Block B is the MFL block. In Block B, we would expect them to indicate which language they have done in years 1 to 9 and continue studying that in that block. Block C is where they get a free choice. They could choose to do another humanity. So, for example, had they chosen history in Block A, they can choose geography in Block C, hence being able to do both geography and history. Some very gifted language students might want to do a second modern foreign language. So had they been a Spanish for the last 3 years and have indicated that in Block B, they could also take French in Block C. Or they could pick from computer science, art and design, fine art, photography, food and nutrition, music, BTech business, sport, product design, textiles, and new to the syllabus, to this curriculum this year, sociology. Almost all of these classes have 2 classes planned to be timetabled next year, except computer science and music. If a student does want to do 2 modern foreign languages, French and Spanish, it is advisable that they consult with Mrs. Robertson, the head of MFL, to discuss this, and parents may wish to do that as well. Please do contact Mrs. Robertson via the school. Who is this route for? So which students are we going to ask to be on this route? Well, based on a range of assessment data and feedback from subject teachers, we will identify the students who are suitable from this. At St. Anthony's, all students who have the aptitude will be placed on this route. This is usually between 70 and 80% of our cohort. Route 2 is the humanities route. This route combines core subjects from GCSE options and vocational subjects. All the students will study English language, English literature, maths, combined science, or humanity. They will then be allowed to pick 2 other option subjects. So from Block A in this, they would choose geography or history. And then from Block B, they would choose Spanish, French, maybe a second humanity, or any of the other subjects we offer. Even though we are saying that students do not have to study a modern foreign language if they follow this route, they can do so by picking it as one of their options from Block B. It is essential that students embark on a path that not only allows them to reach their potential, but also allows them the opportunity to progress to their further learning post-16. But not just by learning meaning going to school, it also means accessing employment or training or apprenticeships. So what are we doing to direct the students? All right, we are looking at a wide range of data for every student. Primarily, we are looking at one of their performances in language for the last 3 years. We'll look at any prior attainment we have for students. Now, we might also have any information about Key Stage 2 SATs, because a lot of these students, well, most of these students didn't do them. But we do have information about reading ages through time. And we also have information about how they have performed on cognitive ability tests that we do every year. We'll also look at their Key Stage 3 modular assessments that they have been doing since Year 7, how they're performing in core subjects, and we ask for the professional judgment of the staff where we're necessary to make that final decision about which route a student will follow. So when will I know which route my child will follow? Well, we plan to let students know via their parents in an email on Friday the 9th of February 2024. Now we do realise that this is the day we break up for half term, and that means that if you have any queries around this, you will not be able to do so. But for the vast majority of our students, they all want to know as early as possible so they can start thinking about what they're doing over the half term. So we did this decision to let people know on that date rather than wait through to the following Monday, the 19th, which is of course the night of parents' evening. All right. It also allows people to reflect about what their route to daughter will be going on before the parents' night, where they can obviously ask questions of their subject teachers. So what is our aspiration for all students in Year 9? Our aspiration is that by the end of Year 11, that they will have achieved a minimum of 5 grades or at or above grade 5 or equivalent at GCSE, including maths and English. We would aspire that they had achieved grade 6 or better in any subjects that the students wish to study post-16, either at St Anthony's and St Aidan's sixth form or at any other educational institution or apprenticeship course. And that they would have achieved a merit or better in their vocational courses that they wish to study post-16 as well. These are high aspirations for all students. Many students will exceed these and will be very pleased for that to happen. Some students may struggle to get to these. We will support them all the way through Key Stage 4 to try and get them as close to getting this aspiration as possible. So how do students choose their options? What advice would we give them? Well, first of all, we would advise that they choose something that fits their interests, something that they think they will enjoy. If you enjoy doing something, if you enjoy studying something, you're going to be happier on that course and you're going to work harder and you're probably going to achieve better than if you pick something which really you didn't like. And by the end of September of year 10, you're thinking, I wish I hadn't taken it because I don't really like this and I never did. So the advice is pick something that fits your interests and something you enjoy. Right? But also think of how they go together with other courses. Is there anything that would help match you with other courses? Is there anything that would support things? Think about your career aspiration. It's not really imperative that you pick some subjects. So for example, some people always think they have to do separate sciences, 3 separate sciences to go on to do medicine at university. That is not true. Many students only do the double award science and end up going to do medicine at university. It is not a prerequisite. So, you have to keep your career aspiration in mind, but it doesn't tie you down to having to do certain things. Look as well at the subjects you want to study post-16. Have a think of where you want to go on there. There is no point saying that you want to study a subject post-16, then for some reason have chosen not to study it at pre-16 at your GCSE stage. So for example, if you want to do, say, geography at A level, it would be strange that you didn't do geography at GCSE. And also, you've got to keep one eye on what the entry requirements are for post-16 courses. These can be found on the websites of any institution you apply to. Certainly on St Anthony's and St Aidan's sixth form website, you will find the entry requirements for all the subjects post-16 here at St Anthony's. Reasons not to choose courses. Reasons for not to choose courses. You don't just choose a course because your friends are choosing the same one. For a start off, you might find that when we put the timetable together, you're not in the same class as your friends. And then you end up stuck with something which you didn't really want to do. You only did it because you want to sit next to your best mate. Don't pick a course because it will be easier than another course. There are no easy courses. The only difference is the way they're examined and the content for their courses obviously is different. So a geography course is different to a history course, but they are both difficult in their own right. That's equally as difficult as a BTEC course in sport or a BTEC course in marketing and enterprise. And lastly, do not pick a subject because you like the teacher you have now. The teacher you have now might not be the teacher you have for the next 2 years doing the course. So these are all reasons not to choose. So you will be sent a link eventually for completing an online app options form. Those doing the EBAC route, you will have to choose from 3 blocks. Your geography and history is your straight choice. Spanish and French, your current language, is the second. You will then actually be asked to make 2 choices from block C. Now you're only going to get one of them. And we're asking you to make a first choice and a second choice, a first preference and a second preference. We always endeavour to give students their first choice, but sometimes it cannot be guaranteed. When it's not possible, we will speak to the student and the parents and the carer to alert them to this, that their student will be getting the second choice. If you're following the humanities route, well, from block A, you would choose geography or history. And then from block B, we would ask you to make 3 choices for the 2 spaces. The 3 choices will be your first choice, second choice, third choice, your first preference, second preference, third preference in a rank order. We'll always endeavour to give students their first and second choice, but this cannot be guaranteed. When it's not possible, we will speak to the parents and the students about this situation arising. Why might it not be possible to offer first and second choices? Well, sometimes courses aren't viable to run. Sometimes, for whatever reason, we might not recruit enough students to make it educationally viable to run a course. For example, if only one person opted to do a subject, it's not really viable to teach that child one-on-one. The course isn't viable, in which case we would not offer that course and we would have to withdraw it from the curriculum. Equally, sometimes we not be able to run the number of classes that we need in a subject. This might be due to a late staffing change. For example, if somebody got an appointment at a new school very late in the year, around May or June time, we might not be able to recruit someone who could deliver that course or deliver a second class in that course that we want, and therefore that course couldn't run. There are a number of reasons why courses might not run. These are just 2 examples. In circumstances where we have to withdraw a course, we would obviously give the student a right to re-choose their optional choices. Okay, and that will be in full consultation with the parents, with our apologies. So, communications, some dates and times now. So first of all, a hard copy of your child's option route will be communicated via email on the 24th of February, and an option book will also be given in the students in their hand on this date. So you will get an electronic copy as a parent, and the students will get a paper copy. The option forms will be sent out on Friday, the 23rd of February. So I'm giving you plenty of time to think about your options before giving you the form to complete to submit what you want. This stops knee-jerk reactions of everyone rushing off, putting it in, and then realizing they'll put the wrong things down but not changing it. So we're going to give some time between when the booklets go out and the consultations have taken place with you for you to think before we send the link to the route. If you do have any queries regarding these, in the first instance, can you contact your child's head of house, and they will collate any issues when they might be able to answer the questions themselves. But obviously, this is going to be the most efficient way for us to get back to you in a timely and promptly manner. Next steps. Well, we'd suggest that parents and children do discuss what the options are going to be. Discuss with the teachers on Parents' Evening on February the 19th. Read the option book carefully with your child. All right, have in-depth discussions with them. Talk to them. What are they thinking? Are they going to be happy with these? Yeah. Use the information in the booklets and also on the Academy website. If you go to the Academy website, you'll find a number of video presentations for the option subjects. Please do watch these videos. They're usually short, under 5 minutes, so very snappy, and they'll give you a flavour of what the courses are about. Research different courses online. Have a look and see what they are about. I encourage your child to do so. Students should listen carefully at the assemblies. We're going to get the new teachers, the subjects for new teachers for new subjects to come in and talk to the students about their courses, give some short presentations, and they're encouraged to go and talk to these members of staff as well, or in school at their lunchtime, maybe after school. If you are unsure about the new courses, we would ask you to contact subject leads to discuss them. So if you're not sure about something that your daughter said she wants to do, something she hasn't studied before, please do not hesitate to contact them about this to see what their subject entails. The information about who to contact is in the options booklets. And also think about what you might need post-16 study, what you're thinking you might want to do when you go to A-levels, when you go to university. And if you have an idea, don't cut any routes off by not doing so. Again, the example area, if you want to do geography at A-level, you'd be very wise to choose geography at GCSE. It's important you get your decisions right, okay? Once the timetable of classes begins after Easter, we cannot change option choices unless there is very special circumstances. Similarly, when you return in September for the new year, it is impossible for us to change option choices. We will have balanced the groups, written a timetable to cope with group sizes and group numbers, and we cannot sustain people changing. This is often a disappointment when students come back in September and say, oh, I didn't mean to choose that. But we do make it very clear at this early stage, it's important that you get your selections right so that after Easter, we can build the timetable which best educates the year 10 students going forward next year. And this means no changing of subjects because that has an impact on class size and the class numbers in classes. So that students, it becomes to the detriment of other students in the class to allow one or two students to move and end up with silly situations of having, say, 34 students in a class. Or getting to a point where we have to say, well, we've let so many move, but that class is now full and we can't put another class on, which then becomes fair to students who, are moving around. So please bear this in mind. I'll say it once again, you've got to get your decision correct because there's no flexibility in September to move. And unless it's very exceptional circumstances, there's no flexibility to move after Easter. Key dates, again, just to remind you of the key dates, the option booklets will be distributed on the 9th of February. They will go to a hard copy to the students and an electronic copy to yourself. There'll also be a copy on the website. Your child's option route will be communicated via email on the 9th of February. 19th of February is the Year 9 Parents' Night. I would encourage you to sign up for appointments on that evening. The option forms will be sent out on the 23rd of February. You have a little bit of time to think. The closing date will be Friday, the 22nd of March. So there's a lot of time to sit and think. Then we're not rushing you into these decisions. We've got 2 or 3 weeks before we give you the form, and then you've got only a whole month after you've had the form to make sure that you make the right decisions. We would hope to communicate our options choice via letters, and letters will be sent out after the May half term as soon as is practical. It all depends on timetabling and how far down we are and whether things are working. And also after half term, we know about staffing is fixed. So we would know then whether classes will or will not run. So if you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact the school. As I've said earlier, in the first instance, the head of house is probably the best person to contact. And they might be able to answer many, many questions. If they can't, they will refer you on to me. If you have no luck with the head of house, please do contact myself, Mr. McDonough, at the school, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for listening to this talk over of the presentation that I gave on the 5th of February. If you weren't able to make it, I hope this has been of some use to you. And if you have individual questions, do not hesitate to ask. Thank you. Goodbye.